Hi, welcome to Free Your Toxins. I'm Natalia Jablokov, your host. We're here today and we're going to do some belly dancing classes. I'm so excited. Get ready to boogie down. I'm sitting here with Habiba. She is an internationally recognized performer, choreographer, teacher, and authority on dances of the Middle East. She has performed extensively throughout the United States and abroad in nightclubs and on concert stages. She has done extensive fieldwork in Egypt and Tunisia. Habiba passes on her travel and studies in her own studio in Philadelphia, where she teaches regular classes. Tell us, what exactly do you do?
Well, for the last 35 years, I've owned and operated the Habiba Studio of Middle Eastern Dance. I teach a variety of levels of classes. I have a series of DVDs, instructional DVDs, and I also lecture for the University Museum on matters of Middle Eastern dance and the cultural context of Middle Eastern dance.
Exciting! And what are the ages that you teach for your classes?
Well, normally in my classes, everything from teenagers to people in their 80s or 90s. It's very age-friendly. The young people just need to be able to focus and be in a class with grown-ups. That's the only thing. Sometimes I've had very young kids, 12, 13, but they're real dancers and they really understand the class kind of mentality. So yeah, it's all ages. And if you really look at the dance in its original form in the Middle East, this is the kind of dance that everybody learns as soon as they can walk. The minute that a kid can stand up at 1 year old, the parents are bringing out a drum and drumming for them, and they're dancing.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it's a very kind of family sort of a thing.
And you said something about you doing DVDs. Where exactly can you buy your DVDs?
Well, you can buy them on the website, www.habibastudio.com. Or you can get it here at the studio when you come for classes.
So tell me from the beginning, where did you learn to dance? What made you want to dance? What's your passion? What happened?
Well, a lot happened. It happened really in a big way. It kind of mushroomed into taking over my whole life. But originally, I was in college and I was looking innocently for a form of exercise. And I got very interested in Middle Eastern music, and at the time it was very popular, and in New York City, where I grew up, there were millions of nightclubs and fabulous bands and everything playing the music. So it was the music first, then I got very intrigued and I started taking belly dancing lessons. And it really sort of mushroomed. I just got captivated with the whole thing and the culture, and I started taking lessons here in the States first, and then I decided that I really needed to go abroad and I needed to study it in its original form firsthand instead of learning from other people who'd been there. So it kind of led to a 30-year-long bunch of trips and writing articles and lecturing and all kinds of things that I never even dreamed of.
Well, that's really interesting that you actually went to the source instead of just being taught somewhere where somebody else taught. You actually went there yourself.
I actually have extensively traveled, and I have studied with in a variety of ways. One is that I spent time studying with the folkloric dance troupes of both Egypt and Tunisia.
Oh, nice.
Then I started traveling and I spent time in villages so I could see how the people danced among themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also studied with the absolutely most famous belly dancers, nightclub style belly dancers in Egypt. So it's kind of like a total approach.
Nice.
And because the thing is that this dance although most people here know it as a nightclub dance, and it's that's great. That's one aspect or one facet of it. But over there, it's just simply the way everybody dances.
It is and dances.
It's just everybody, when they go to a wedding, if they go to a nightclub, women among themselves, in the more observant parts where it's a sex segregated, wedding where they keep the women separately. Women get together and dance together all the time. Mm-hmm. So the nightclub part is a big part, but there's so much else.
So you dance majority of your life, and now.
Yes.
So do you dance every day? Is this the way you keep in shape?
Yes.
Wow.
I call it the fear of public embarrassment because you have to really be in shape for your students. I mean, I really think you have to be an example.
I think that's for everyone that works out and teaches. Yeah, definitely. So what exactly does this dance work in your body, or does it work everything? What I don't know. What do you feel sore when you dance this? Where do you feel most sore?
Well, it depends on the person, but what it does do is get to muscles that you really don't use for any other reason. You wouldn't use them in any other kind of athletic activity, or you use muscles that in classic dance, like Western dance, modern dance, ballet, you would never use, because the movements they feature kind of a different kind of movement. Like, for example, ballet, it's all about getting out of the ground and being sublime, and you don't use your torso, you use your legs and your arms. Even in other kinds of Western dances, like Irish step dancing, people are just kind of, they're working their feet,
and they're
very straight up and down with the torso. But in places like Polynesia and Africa and the Middle East, the dance is all in the torso. So you find not only everybody knows about, yes, it does help your ab muscles, but it doesn't help the outside ab muscles. It helps the deep abdominals, just like Pilates does.
Okay.
And the undulations and everything really, really tightens up things. But also the thing that fascinates me is that because of the undulations and the movement of the spine, it strengthens the upper part where you're kind of dead. I mean, like this part of the upper back, it just doesn't flex and move and undulate and breathe and everything, and a lot of that is due to tension. But people have a lot of trouble with that area, and because our upper undulations, which I will show you later,
exciting,
they cause you to really move that upper back and to lift. And instead of trying to improve your posture with tension and try to lift, we drop our shoulders and drop the ribs in the back, and it lifts the chest and opens here.
So it's a little bit like ballet.
It's a little bit like ballet, except that if you did this in a ballet class, they'd slap the back of your knees because if you were undulating and moving.
That's true. Well, I'm really excited to start this teaching.
Okay.
So let's go and learn some moves.
Very good.
Great.
Okay, Natalia, this is a dance of the hips mainly, and we're going to learn 3 ways to move your hip. I bet you never knew there were 3 ways. The first one is from the hip.
Okay.
So we're going to relax our knees. No one was ever able to move their pelvis if their knees were stick straight. Okay, you have to kind of bend and relax those knees. I want you to tense up, 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 up. Good. And a little faster. Double it. Good. Okay, so we've got this going. Then, the second way is to press into the ball of the foot. And we're going to use all these types. Okay? Press into the ball of the foot, and that lifts the hip, or you can drop it, either one. The third way is to use your knees. And if you let your feet sink into the floor nice and flat, and bent and straightened your knees, it does the same thing with your hips. You're going up, 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 up. And you can get really into it. Good. Okay, so we're going to use all of that. Now, the first thing, music. Now, let's feel the rhythm. Step, tap, step, tap. Now, let's bring our hip into it by pressing a little more into the floor. Good. Now, arms, we're just going to be very plain with the arms for now. Just a kind of a low V shape. Now, we're going to move forward and back. Step forward, 2, 3 out of 4, and back. Good. One more. And back. Okay, we're going to do another thing with the hip and we're pressing into the floor. Just on one side, flat left foot, bend right foot. Lift, 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 good, lift, 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 lift. Now you're going to use that pressure to help you pivot around yourself. Pivot turn is just simply push, 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 push. Okay, but we're going to use the hip. Up, 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 up. Yes. Now let's add that in. Step, tap, step, tap. And up, 2. Yes, you got it. Step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. One last time. 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Good. Now, bend and straighten your knees. And just, so we're going to add bell motion. This happens all the time. Skirt. Got it? Okay, you want to just push forward. It's very easy to let your upper body lean back, and you want to be right over it and lift it. Yes. Lift. Bring the arms down, right? Again, lift. And bring down. Okay, so we're going to put these 3 together.
Oh, my butt shakes.
Step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. And once you get here, it's going to be drop, 2, 3, 4. Then step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. Shimmy. This is the current Egyptian nightclub style shimmy. This is what the wonderful professional dancers do right now. There are other kinds of shimmies. This is it. Okay, now. Forward, hip drop, and normally in this kind of dancing, there's one hand to the head, or it's the most common form of arm movement, and one arm is either out or at the other hip, okay, or it's forward like you want somebody to kiss your hand. I'm going to run this back.
I feel famous when I do this.
Isn't that great?
I'll do this one.
It also, somehow, it's kind of role playing when you do this kind of dancing, and it's kind of fun. You experiment with to turn. Right, left, right, hip. Left, right, left, press into the hip. And keep one foot close to the other. And the reason why is that this doesn't look as good as this. Yeah, it's the leg line that people really appreciate. Okay. Okay. Left, 2, 3, hip. Hip. Good. Now we're going to add this into our little mix, our choreography for today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hip down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back. 2, 3, 4. Shimmy. And turn right. Hip. Yes. Very nice. That's great. What did you do? This is fabulous. How much footage do you want? I don't think you're going. You're going? Okay. Now, your pelvis is going to start the preparations for what people think of as, it's not really, we always call this a camel, which is so innate, unless you really think about the way camels kind of move, that's that sort of undulation thing. So, we're going to start out with upper body undulation, lower body undulation. Okay. First thing, I was talking about these muscles back here in between the shoulder blades and strengthening them so you get this nice posture. Well, right here, you're going to slide out. Yes. Trying not to disturb your shoulders, but just moving between here and the sternum, just, yes, it's exactly right. So you're stretching forward, then you're stretching up and down, as if you had a string attached to your sternum. Okay.
So just using that.
Yes. And try not to do stuff.
Not to do what I'm doing.
You want this nice, relaxed shoulder. Then we're going to, bearing in mind that it takes a little while to get this, but because there are movements that people have done ever, you're going to slide out, up, and back to center. Out of, yes. You can do this. Excellent. And how would you use this, you ask? Okay. Well, the thing is that you want to make it like a really graceful undulation. You don't want to like stand there and go like this, right? Although I've seen that. So, what we do is, and come a little bit down here, we're going to rock back and forth on our right foot until the left. And then we're going to move right, 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 right. Left, 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 left. Good. Right. So it just is like a little elegant kind of stuff. I like that. Now, let's think about one more very typical thing. We're going to use our hips, side, back, side, front. And we're going to make a circle so big that you need to keep your balance by leaning in the opposite direction. Okay, so when the hip goes this way, you're kind of on the, yes. Then front, and you're leaning back, side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front, side, back. Now we're going to make it a smooth circle. Starting at the left, we're coming forward and back, forward and back. This is the very typical Egyptian style of hip isolated hip circle. We actually use these too, but this one is not isolated because you need the rest of your upper body, so you're not working. Yes, yes, very good. Okay. Now, let's just do a little sort of finale thing. Okay, come down this way. We're going to push off and do 4 steps to the right. 1, 2, 3. And you see how that hip, it's almost like one of the Latin dances where you roll. Yes, exactly. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, along with this, we're going to cut down on the number of steps. Okay? In other words, we're going to go and we're going to be left with no steps and all hip in one place. So we're going to go 4 this way. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 to the side. 2 to the side. Singles and just hip, roll up and into center. Okay, you're doing the opposite. I'm going out, press. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's interesting. It takes a little bit of doing. And then one big circle, which is like punctuation. Bring your arms in. And
thank you for watching For Your Toxins, and I hope you learned some belly dancing moves. See you soon.